Dear soul, please come close for a moment. This is not a message to scroll past. This is not a message to save for later, because later is not promised the way you think it is. Today, heaven is leaning toward you, not to scare you, not to crush you, but to awaken you, to pull your spirit out of distraction, to lift your eyes above the noise, to make you listen with your inner ear. God says, pay attention. I am trying to reach you, and you already feel it, don't you? That strange heaviness in your chest, that sudden pause in your breath, that feeling like something is off. Even when everything looks normal, because something is happening behind the veil of what you can see. Someone from your family is in the last stage of a serious illness, and you are not fully aware that time is closing in. The clock has been ticking while you were busy surviving your day, while you were working, while you were managing stress, while you were trying to keep your own heart together. And meanwhile, in another room, in another corner of your world, a body is growing weaker, a breath is becoming softer, a soul is preparing to transition, not in drama, not with loud announcements, but quietly. Sometimes the most important moments do not arrive with noise. They arrive like a whisper, gentle, urgent, holy. God says, this is that whisper. Dear soul, I need you to understand something. There are people who suffer in silence, not because they don't want love, but because they don't want to be a burden. They don't want to be the reason you cry. They don't want to be the reason your day collapses. So they smile. They say, I'm fine. They wave you off. They keep their pain tucked behind polite words and quiet prayers. But the truth is, their nights have been long. The truth is, their strength has been fading. The truth is, they have been holding on with trembling fingers, not only to life, but to one more moment of connection with you. One more conversation. One more touch. One more, I love you. One more, forgive me. One more, thank you. One more, I'm proud of you. One more, I'm here. And the reason this message is finding you now is because heaven is making a way for what has not been said to finally be spoken. Because some goodbyes come too fast. Some regrets come too late. Some love is realized only after the door has already closed. God says, I am giving you a window. Do not waste it. Now listen carefully, dear soul, because your mind might try to argue, but your spirit already knows. You may be thinking, who is it? You may be scanning your family in your mind. You may be thinking of the older one, the quieter one, the one who has been distant, the one who has been okay for so long. But I need you to stop forcing logic and start listening to the stirring inside you, because there is a name rising in your chest like a whisper, a face that keeps appearing in your thoughts, a strange pull in your heart toward someone specific. That is not random. That is divine direction. God says, I am pointing you, and you don't have to have proof to obey. You don't have to have perfect information to act. You don't need to wait for a doctor to call you, a relative to confess, or a crisis to explode. Sometimes God warns you in mercy before the world warns you in pain. And this is mercy. This is grace. This is God saying, you are still on time. Maybe you haven't visited in a while. Maybe you've been busy. Maybe there's been tension. Maybe there are old wounds that never fully healed. Maybe you've been carrying guilt. Maybe you've been saying, one day I'll go. One day I'll call. One day I'll make it right. But hear this with all the tenderness heaven can place into words. One day is not a date on the calendar. One day is not guaranteed. And if you keep waiting for the perfect time, you might accidentally wait until there is no time at all. So God says, go now. Not to be dramatic, not to panic, not to fall into fear, but to be present. Because your presence can still bring peace. Your voice can still bring comfort. Your love can still heal. Not always the body, but the soul. And soul healing is not small. Soul healing is eternal. Dear soul, in the quiet moments of that person's day, they have been thinking about you more than you know. They have watched your life. Even if they didn't say much, they have worried about you in silence. They have been proud of you in ways you never heard. They have carried prayers for you like secret letters folded in their spirit. Even while their own body was failing, they were still asking God to protect you. Isn't that love? That kind of love that gives. Even when it's running out, God says, they have not stopped loving you. And let me tell you what is so heavy and so holy about this. They are not angry with you. They have forgiven the misunderstandings. They have released the arguments. They have let go of the things you still feel ashamed about. Their heart is not full of revenge. Their heart is not keeping score. Their heart is full of one simple desire: to feel your nearness, to see you, to hear you, to know you care. Sometimes when someone is near the end, they don't want gifts. They don't want speeches. They don't want perfect words. They want the truth. They want love without pride. They want forgiveness without delay. They want warmth without conditions. They want to leave this world knowing that the people they love were not distant when it mattered most. So God says, do not wait until the room becomes quiet forever. Dear soul, I know this message feels heavy. I know it may make your heart pound. I know it may bring tears to your eyes. But hear me. The purpose is not to break you. The purpose is to awaken you. Because you are chosen to carry this moment, not with panic, but with faith, not with denial, but with courage, not by pretending you are strong alone, but by inviting God into your grief, into your family, into that room, into that final chapter. God says, I will go with you. You might be afraid of what you'll see, afraid of what you'll feel, afraid of how fragile they look, afraid of hearing the truth confirmed. But this is what God wants you to understand. Being there is not about fixing death. It's about carrying love into the doorway of eternity. Because when someone is fading, what they need most is to be surrounded by love that feels safe. Love that says, I'm here. Love that says, you are not alone. Love that says, you mattered. And you, yes, you, are part of that love. Your hand on theirs can calm a storm in their chest. Your voice can be the last familiar comfort they carry. Your prayer can fill the room with peace that medicine cannot create. Some people are too tired to pray out loud anymore, but they still hear prayer. They still feel prayer. They still receive peace through prayer. God says, be their intercessor. Be their comfort. Now, dear soul, let me speak to what your heart may be carrying secretly. Maybe you're thinking, but we had distance. Maybe you're thinking, but they hurt me. Maybe you're thinking, but I don't know what to say. Maybe you're thinking, but what if I go and it's awkward? Listen to me. When time becomes short, pride becomes foolish. When eternity is near, petty things lose their power. And the truth is, you don't need perfect words. You need honest presence. You can sit beside them. You can hold their hand. You can say, I'm here. You can say, I love you. You can say, thank you. You can say, I'm sorry. You can say, I forgive you. You can say, you did your best. You can say, you are safe. And if the words won't come, your tears will speak. Tears are not weakness in holy moments. Tears are truth. Your tears will water the dry ground of their heart and remind them that they were seen and cherished. God says, show up. That is your assignment. And when you walk into that space, whether it's a home, a hospital, a quiet bedroom, you will feel it. The atmosphere will change. Because love changes rooms. Faith changes rooms. Presence changes rooms. There are rooms that feel cold because everyone is afraid to talk about what's happening. There are rooms filled with unspoken grief, but you are sent to carry light, not loud light, not performance, not drama, but a steady light, a gentle, faithful light. And even if they cannot speak much, even if their eyes are tired, even if their body is weak, their soul will recognize you. Their spirit will know you came. God says, your presence will be a blessing they will carry into the next life. Now hear this, dear soul, because I want to protect you from unnecessary torment. If this happens soon, do not let guilt eat you alive, because guilt is not the voice of God. Guilt is heavy and punishing. God's conviction is clear and guiding. God is not telling you this to shame you. He is telling you this because He loves you, and He loves them. He is giving you an opportunity, an opening, a sacred window. And what you do with this window will become a memory your heart will hold for the rest of your days. One day, when the house is quiet, and you think back, you will either say, I'm grateful I went when I felt that stirring. Or you will say, I wish I had listened. God says, choose peace, choose obedience, choose love. Because when the final breath comes, you will hear a silence that is not empty. It will be full, full of closure, full of grace, full of something holy that cannot be explained. And yes, it will hurt, but it will also heal. Because some healing comes through endings. Some healing comes through truth. Some healing comes through saying what you never said. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not the one that cures the body, but the one that restores the soul. And dear soul, restoration is possible right now. Old wounds can be softened. Unspoken words can be released. Love can be exchanged without delay. So let this message move you. Call them. Visit them. Check in. Ask gently. Listen closely. Pray. Even if you don't know how to pray perfectly, pray honestly. God, cover them. God, comfort them. God, forgive us. God, give peace. God, let love fill this room. God, help me show up. And God will meet you there. Not later. Not someday. There. Because God is near to the brokenhearted. God is present in sacred endings. God is tender in rooms where hearts are trembling. God says, do not be afraid. I will strengthen you. Dear soul, you are being called to be the bridge between their pain and their peace. Not to carry the whole world. Not to be perfect. Not to be unshaken. But to be faithful. To be love. To be present. And when this season passes, whenever it passes, you will not come out of it destroyed. You will come out changed. Softer. Wiser. More awake to what matters. More grateful for breaths and moments you used to overlook. You will learn that love is not just a feeling. Love is an action. Love is showing up. Love is holding a hand when words fail. Love is choosing forgiveness before the clock runs out. God says, this is your holy assignment, and you are not alone. So breathe, dear soul. Wipe your tears if they're falling. And listen one more time to the whisper that brought you here. You're still on time. Go, even if you're afraid. Go, even if you don't know what to say. Go, because someone is waiting, and their heart already knows. You are coming.